Welcome. This week's review is about the movie Eternals. This is the latest entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and here we are introduced to characters that are quite different from what we're used to seeing. While Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel introduced a bit more of the cosmic side of the MCU, the truth is, The Eternals is a quite different movie with quite different characters. So, if you haven't seen this movie yet, it's worthwhile adjusting your expectations as you go to watch this movie. So, to be clear, I enjoyed this movie. I do not think it's a bad movie. It's a decent movie, but it also can be quite foreign to both normal Marvel fans as people that aren't so much fans of comic book adaptations. What happens here is that, contrary to the other Marvel movies where you usually have the hero's journey as a character has developed new powers or has gone through an accident or something that changes their context and they have to go against a powerful adversary, which is what happens in most Marvel movies. But in this movie, we're presented with 10 characters that arrive at Earth already in a Superman-like state, where they're very powerful, and they have this statute of protecting. They're supposed to protect humans. So, going into this movie, it has the difficulty of having to introduce 10 new characters. Contrary to other movies where you at least knew where this would fit in alongside the other Marvel movies and Marvel characters, in the Eternals that isn't very clear, um, both in the beginning or, to be honest, at the end. So, considering the difficulty that the producer had to to tackle this, I think that the movie is a good movie, but it's not for everyone. So we're introduced to 10 new characters. The movie is almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. The movie takes its time establishing each character, their motivations, and their powers in a clear way. I didn't feel that there were that many places where the film was taking too long. For a movie this long, that's quite an achievement. But it definitely feels different than normal stories because they already have their powers. What will bring drama to the movie is different than what other stories have. Having said that, it's a good movie. If you are not a fan of comic book movies, I think you might not like this movie. You might enjoy it, but it might be a movie that you won't enjoy. If you like comic book movies and you're a Marvel fan, it depends on how patient you are in terms of letting them tell a story that's different from what you're used to seeing. The actors portraying Gilgamesh, Cersei, Athena, um, Icarus, they all did a good job. My only complaint is that there are two characters who I wish their motivations had been a bit more clearer as the film progressed, so that the decisions don't come as a surprise later on. So overall, it's a good movie. It's not for everyone, but it is an interesting story to include into the Marvel Universe, and I am curious to see where they'll take this going forward. I would like to address something that comic book fans have been concerned about for quite a bit of time, which is regarding gender and race swapping. And I hope that you feel my respect and concern as I address this, because I do value that we have representation in this diverse society that we have, and that people can um, feel they relate to the characters that they see on the screen. At the same time, I don't feel that necessarily changing a character's gender or um, other aspects of their identity just for that is the best solution. I think that it is a lack of good writing and of creating good stories with characters in that have that identity. So, for example, um, Miles Morales is a great example for me of a black superhero who feels that has his own identity, his own culture around the character, and a well developed story that I like very much. For example, I played the recently PS4 adaptation of his story as a game, and I thought it was really well done and very interesting. So, in an area as comics where characters can come from any part of the world and even from space and have so many different stories, motivations, and experiences, there's so much space to create new characters that people can fall in love with and identify. And I think that just doing a swap just to say, hey, see, now there's a character from that country, I don't think that serves the best in terms of how to make those adaptations. For example, and this is just me, I don't have anything against the comedian, but Kingo is supposed to be a Japanese character. They replaced him for a comedian from another nationality, and honestly, that didn't bring anything to the movie. I thought all his jokes fell short. I didn't. I thought his character was quite unlikable, and um, that didn't bring anything. So, um, on the other side, there are characters like Makari that were changed, and I really enjoyed her character. I thought she had such a great performance. I just hope that we can create new stories and um, that people can relate to, and also that we can also remember that a character doesn't need to look or sound exactly like we do for us to be able to relate to them. So, have you watched the movie? What did you think? Please share your comments below and see you next time.